So the White House today has been arguing that the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities were targeted, that this is about ending Iran's nuclear program, not about regime change. But just moments ago, President Trump posted on social media, quote, "It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change?" Now, the strikes overnight were a huge gamble. President Trump has vowed to end wars, not to get involved in them, but at the same time, he's long said that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. The extent to which that was achieved remains to be seen, but this is what we do know about what's being called Operation Midnight Hammer. This was highly complex. This was a high-risk mission. It involved decoys. It took months of planning, according to the Department of Defense, as the U.S. military was positioning assets in the region. The military used B-2 bombers to drop 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs used for the first time in history. And we're also learning more about what led to this decision. Now, remember that on Thursday, Trump had said that he was going to give himself 2 weeks to make the decision. But then the strikes happened just 2 days later. Behind the scenes, the president had still been trying to pursue a diplomatic solution as the Pentagon was preparing for these strikes. In fact, we're told by U.S. officials that Trump and Turkey's president had tried to organize a meeting between U.S. and Iranian officials in Istanbul, but those plans fell through because the supreme leader went into hiding and couldn't be reached to approve the meeting, so that never happened. So the question here is to what extent the damage was actually done. President Trump said that the nuclear facilities, Iran's, were obliterated. But Israeli sources have told us that the goal was to degrade, not to destroy. I spoke to some experts, including to former Pentagon and CIA official Mick Mulroy, who tells me that the U.S. military operation, quote, likely set back the Iranian nuclear weapons program by 2 to 5 years based on the type and amount of munitions used, but noted that we do need to see the full battlefield assessment to really determine exactly how much the degradation was. Now, the big question, of course, is what happens next. Iran has vowed retaliation. The question is, did this U.S. military operation end this conflict? Did it start another one? Or did it escalate the existing one?